Time for you guys to sound off on our Bears Now mailbag as chaos is ensuing at Hallis Hall. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome into Bears Now. Kevin Warren, if this is really you, you should fire Matt Eberflus. He says, what if they somehow beat Green Bay on Sunday? I think it would be the most shocking win of the NFL this season. And there's been a lot. I really do. I just don't see how, given the lack of mental toughness on this current team now, but also just the organization when they play the Packers, and just all the chaos, there is no way they beat Green Bay this week. I would be stunned. And quite frankly, if it happens, it would kind of make me nervous because we know the McCaskies love beating the Packers, even though they never do. They'd be like, oh, Flus, you can beat the Packers. Give them year 4. I don't think there's any chance. I would give it less than a 3% chance they win on Sunday. Benjamin, look at what the Lions have done over the last 4 or 5 years. They made wholesale changes from top to bottom because they broke away from traditions. Now they're reaping the rewards. Yeah, and look, when you bring in new guys, like, yeah, you got to hit, and they hit across the board. Brad Holmes, awesome GM. Brought him in from the Les Snead crew. Dan Campbell, people made fun of his opening press conference. The guy is a culture setter. Just look at how players act around him. I mean, he cares. The emotion he portrays. Ben Johnson is awesome. Obviously, we'll see how long he's there. People have given Aaron Glenn shit. I think he's done a great job, especially this year. And they've got a lot of talent. They've built up the roster nicely. They've hit on a lot of guys. So, there's a little luck involved. You're not always going to hit. But, yeah, I mean, if Detroit, who's been irrelevant my entire life, is now kind of the standard in the NFC, that should give you at least hope that it could happen. But, yeah, I mean, it sucks to say, but the Lions are like, I watch them play, I'm like, they're fun. They're fun to watch. They're a good team. They're resilient. They're tough. They're skilled. I think they've got the best blend of grittiness and skill in the NFL. Like, they're never out of a game because they're so mentally and physically tough. And their skill talent, I mean, they're explosive too. So they're a good team, man. They really are. Predict it for us. Who will be the Bears head coach in 2025? Ben Johnson would be nice. What say you? Sound off in the comment section below. Carlos, #Bears. If the only way to fire Flus is to give up Caleb Williams and draft a new QB, are you doing it? I know this wouldn't happen. FYI, LOL. If that was the only way to fire Flus, yes, because I'm so out on Flus. I wouldn't want to do that because I believe in Caleb. I know he's struggling right now, but if that got Flus out, I'd have to sign up for it because I want him out that badly. Aquarius Cook, thoughts on Eric Bienemy as head coach? I feel like he missed his window, honestly. He's the OC at UCLA. They're not that good. I'm not sure he's even getting interviews this cycle, if I'm being honest. So I don't think that ends up happening. Doesn't mean he won't get back into the NFL as an OC and won't have a chance in the future, but right now it seems pretty unlikely. All right, it is Packers week, believe it or not, and we do have FGB shirts available. You can pick one up at chatsports.com/FGB. Click and shop today. That link will be in the comments and in the description. Camarena, Brian Flores for head coach. I wouldn't mind it. I'd rather go offense, but he's at least an aggressive defensive guy. He's a very hard-nosed. But my only question is, can he connect with the quarterback? Because Tua hates him. And say what you want about Tua, but Tua outwardly hates the guy. That's a bit of a red flag because you got to be able to connect with quarterbacks. Like, it feels like Flus just can't. Like that feels like a glaring issue there, and that's the risk of going defense. So, I would take him over Eberflus. I think his defense is more kind of dynamic scheme-wise, and this defense is already pretty good, and if you added, new wrinkles, it could be even better. But I don't know. There's questions there. Ganji, who would you bring along with Vrabel if he was head coach? I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look into that more, but he's the one defensive guy. He's really just CEO guy that I would sign off on because he's got a proven track record. He's won with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. He's gone to the AFC Championship game. He's won a division. And, you know, I was listening to a podcast a few weeks ago when they were talking about Eberflus hot seat stuff, and one of the guys said, look, just hire Vrabel, just hit a double, right? Like Ben Johnson, if you hit there, that's a home run. Like maybe you have him and Caleb are united for 12, 15 years. Well, Vrabel, like there's a pretty high floor there. Like you at least are bringing in no BS and credibility, whereas, you know, like any coordinator, it could flop. So Vrabel feels like a really safe bet to at least bring you competency, which, quite frankly, you could use in a major way. Bears Now as a family, subscribe to the channel. We're going to bring you videos every single day. We do these mailbags on our live shows, and we usually go live every Monday, Thursday, and game day. If there's breaking news this week with the coaching change, we'll be live for that as well, more than likely. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join us. Savage, is it time to put Bates at center, or is the season done at this point? I don't know what that does. I mean, if they think he's much better than Coleman Shelton at center, then I guess you could do that. But you're so beat up on the interior, I'm not sure you really have that luxury because Shelton's one of your healthier players, and he's really only a center. I think we've seen it with Doug Kramer. When you have to put him at guard, he's so undersized, like he's kind of just a center. So I'm not sure that solves anything, and I didn't think Bates played that well in his first game back anyway. Den of Clips, it's absolutely disgusting how Flus and Waldron have ruined two of the most productive offensive players last season, DJ and Swift. I don't think Swift's been ruined, to be fair. I think he started slow, but he's been better recently. Will we see DJ requesting a trade soon if Flus isn't fired? Well, you're not in trade request season because the trade deadline has passed, so even if that were a possibility, it wouldn't be till the offseason. Also, I'm not sure what he has to really stand on. I don't think he's played that well this year, and he just signed a huge deal. I mean, is he going to kind of pout and then request a trade? I mean, I guess he could, but throughout his career, he hasn't really been that guy, so they just got to recalibrate him because clearly they've committed to him long-term, and they need him to be a big part of this team moving forward. Predict the score. How ugly is this going to get? Bears-Packers on Sunday. I'll have my official score prediction later in the week, but little teaser. The Packers as a 6-point favorite, they will win and cover that pretty easily. I just haven't decided how bad I think it's going to be yet. Marcus Ellis, I would try to get Slowik out of Houston. I think Slowik has lost a lot of steam. That offense feels like teams have adjusted from last year, and they have not counter-adjusted that well. They have not been that explosive. Now, Nico Collins got hurt. Stephon Diggs is out for the year now. Like, their O-line has issues. I'm not saying it's all on him, but I watched them play, and it hasn't been that impressive offensively this year. I mean, we watched the Bears play the Texans. I know the Bears have a good defense, but that game should not have been that close with the way the Bears offense played, and the Texans could not pull away. So I'm not completely out on Slowik, but I've definitely slowed down on him and soured on him a little bit. Luis Ramirez, how many more games do the Bears win this year? I'll set the number at 2.5. Y'all think it's more or less? I would take less on 2.5. I feel like they'll win 2 more games. They'll end up 6-11. They'll win. How about they'll beat Seattle at home and they'll win 1 divisional game. But I mean, they could lose them all. It's really on the table. So I don't think they'll win many the rest of the way. Appreciate all the questions. If you have any more, you know where to find me. Social media at HGramNFL on Twitter. Same handle on Instagram. If you got any questions, hit me up over there. I got to catch up on some DMs. I got a lot after the Patriots game, so I'll be sure to do that. At HGramNFL, go ahead and hit me up.